Welcome back, deep divers. Today, we're really getting into it with the psychology of money. We've got a research paper and a study guide, so should be interesting.
It's pretty cool stuff, not your usual finance book. Really makes you think differently. Like, money isn't just numbers, right? It's all about, like, our brains, our choices. Sometimes they're kind of crazy choices, but that's what makes it interesting.
But we're figuring out why it's not just about smarts, but how we act,
Yeah.
right? Hopefully something everyone listening can use.
Exactly. That's what the paper digs into. It's more about how you handle things emotionally than just, like, being a genius.
So you don't got to be Einstein. You got to understand yourself. I like that.
It's true. Think about it. People make money choices based on their own history with it. That's why what's nuts to me might make sense to you, totally.
Yeah, makes sense. Like someone who, I don't know, their family always struggled, they might be more likely to buy a lottery ticket, even though odds are terrible.
Spot on. That's their story shaping their choice. We all have one, so there's no one size fits all.
Finding what works for you.
Yes. Now, the study guide gets into this enough idea. Not having too little, but wanting more, always. That's where things get messy bad choices, even like crossing the line ethically. Think of those big cases, Rajat Gupta, Bernie Madoff. Huge money, but risked it all.
It's like they could never get to enough, and it destroyed them.
You see it. Real wealth maybe isn't about the bank balance, but being content.
So finding enough is key. But how do we even know what that is for ourselves?
Great question. The book's got some angles on that. Big one is figure out what's enough for you, not comparing to others. Your goals, your values, forget the Joneses.
Is finding success on your own terms. Love that.
Exactly. And this ties into time, especially investing. Study Guide makes this cool comparison. Warren Buffett, Jim Simons. Simons higher returns, but Buffett started way earlier. More time for the magic to happen?
So it's not what you earn, but how long it's working for you.
Exactly. Starting early, even small, is powerful. Consistent good returns, that's the stuff, not chasing those crazy high ones that disappear.
Consistency beats trying to be a fortune teller then. Good to know.
Right. Now, from the paper, this room for error thing is huge, like building in a safety net financially.
Like a cushion in case stuff goes wrong.
Yep. Emergency funds, different investments, even just living below your means. That buffer protects you from the unexpected or even your own screw-ups.
Makes sense, because life's unpredictable.
Totally. It's about planning for that. And speaking of unexpected, this end of history illusion thing blew my mind. We think what we want now is what we'll always want.
Oh, I see how that's a problem. Like someone in their 20s, saving like crazy for early retirement, then later, bam, new passion, new career, but doesn't pay as well.
You got it. Goals change, so your money plan's got to change too.
Got to stay flexible.
Right on. And this connects to sunk costs too. Clinging to stuff based on what you've already put in, even when it's not working anymore. Classic one. Staying in a job you hate because you spent years, money, on the education.
They use this filmmaker, Danny Zweig, in the study guide. He treats each draft of his movies like a fresh start. No baggage from what he's already done. Makes better choices that way.
Love that example. Letting go of the past, better decisions, creatively, financially, all of it.
Learning, but not letting it hold you back.
Exactly. Now, this one made me think. Narratives, they drive the economy way more than we realize.
Okay, break that down for me.
2008 crisis, good example. Sure, tangible stuff like mortgages, but the story changed from stability to fear. Wham, chaos. Capacity didn't really change that much from '07 to '09, but how people felt did.
It's not just the numbers. It's the story we tell ourselves about them.
You're getting it, and those personal experiences can create biases, make us miss stuff financially.
Like we're all wearing these tinted glasses, our past coloring how we see things.
Brilliant analogy. That's why being self-aware and getting different viewpoints, super important.
Check your assumptions.
Yeah.
Be open to new ideas, right?
Absolutely. Now, speaking of different perspectives, this study guide compares Bill Gates and his friend, Ken Evans, both super smart, but totally different outcomes. One huge success, one, well, tragedy. Luck matters.
Shows you can't control everything, but you can control how you react.
Exactly. That room for error helps you ride out those storms. Stay in the game long enough, the long-term trends, those are your friends.
So much to think about here. It's more than just numbers. It's the human side of money that's crucial. But how do we go from knowing this to actually doing something different?
Good point. That's where the rubber meets the road, right? The book's got a ton of practical stuff turning aha moments into action. Real change for your money life.
So like we talked about enough. How do we actually do that when the world's yelling at us to want more? all the time.
Self-awareness, key thing the book pushes. Really think about what you value, prioritize, not what everyone else is doing. Your enough is yours alone.
Finding your sweet spot.
Exactly. Once you know that, you can make choices that fit. Clear goals, budget that reflects your values, maybe even simplifying your life.
Being intentional, that's the key.
Bingo. And this long-term thinking, especially for investing, the study guide uses this great phrase, building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint.
Patience again, huh?
Can't stress it enough. Don't get distracted by those quick wins or the latest fad. Slow and steady, that's how the magic happens.
Got it. So what else do we need to know about applying all this psychology stuff to our money? This is fascinating, but also, like, a lot to take in.
True, and we're just getting started. But one thing that's stuck with me is the book's focus on building sleep well at night investments. It's about prioritizing that peace of mind, right along with your returns. Choices that make you feel good about your plan, even when the market's doing its crazy dance.
So finding that balanced growth, but also, like, not stressing myself out.
Exactly. Maybe it's investments that match your risk level, even if they're not the highest potential payoff. Or focusing on the long game so the short-term stuff doesn't rattle you. Or, hey, even talking to a financial advisor you trust.
Sleep soundly, knowing your money's good.
It
I like it. Okay, we got to talk about financial independence. For a lot of folks, that's like a dream, right?
can be real, though. The book's definition is freedom to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want.
Okay, sign me up. But seriously, is that even possible for, like, regular people?
Totally. It's not about winning the lottery or anything. It's about smart choices, building a life you love that's sustainable.
Taking control of your own destiny, kind of.
Exactly. Having enough to support that life, no job you hate, no constant money worries.
Sounds amazing, but also kinda unrealistic.
It's not about being a millionaire. It's about enough for your passions, time with people you care about, making a difference, whatever that means to you.
Aligning your money with your values, that's what we've been talking about, right?
Yes. Making your money work for the life you want.
Okay, I'm convinced I want to do this. But, like, how? Where do we even begin?
It's a journey, no quick fix, but here's the deal. Saving, consistently, no matter how small. Make it a habit, part of your life.
Not about how much you make, but how much you keep.
Exactly. Spend smart. Choices that help your future self, not just today.
Makes sense.
What else?
Investing. Got to make that money work for you, right?
Yeah.
Growing over time in things that match your risk, comfort level, and what you want to achieve.
We've talked a lot about investing. Definitely important here.
Huge. And it doesn't have to be complicated, the book says. Retirement account, index funds, that's a good start.
Keeping it simple, yeah, we've been over that. So save, invest. Anything else for this financial independence dream?
The big one. Living below your means, choices, again, needs versus wants, and being okay with a simpler life sometimes.
So not about never having nice things, but like being thoughtful.
Yes. Real wealth isn't the stuff, it's the experiences, the people, the impact you make. More than just money, it's about a good life, period.
You got it. Financial independence, it's that freedom, flexibility, time for your passions, the people you love, helping out in your community, travel, whatever your thing is, living on your own terms.
Sounds incredible.
Mm.
But I'm guessing there's got to be roadblocks, right? It can't all be sunshine and roses.
Oh, for sure. A big one is this fear of scarcity. You know, our whole culture's like, you need more, 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 never enough.
Easy to get sucked into that, constantly wanting stuff.
The book's all about fighting that, defining your own enough.
We keep circling back to that, but it's important. It's so easy to compare, feel like you're behind.
Truth, real contentment. It comes from inside. Appreciate what you got. Find the joy in the simple stuff.
Good stuff. So besides fighting that I need more feeling, what else trips people up on the road to financial freedom?
Discipline, that's a tough one. Knowing what to do easy, actually doing it consistently, that's where it gets real.
Saving, investing, all that takes willpower, right? Especially when there's tempting stuff everywhere.
You know it. Financial habits, those add up over time, good or bad. Consistent saving, smart investing, not spending more than you bring in. That's the foundation.
Little by little, those actions make the difference.
Exactly, like compound interest, but for your habits.
Love that. So sustainable changes, not trying to be perfect overnight.
Right, and it's never too late to start. Even one good habit, it makes a difference.
Okay, that makes me feel better because I know I've got work to do. So we've got the discipline part down. What about staying on track when everything around you is saying spend, spend, spend?
Temptation, classic problem. The book's got some tricks for that. First, know your triggers.
Triggers, what do you mean?
Anything that makes you want to spend without thinking could be an emotion like stress or boredom, a place like the mall, or even a person, that friend who's always buying the latest thing.
So, like, if I know when I'm stressed, I'm more likely to buy stuff online. Maybe I avoid those sites when I'm feeling overwhelmed.
Exactly. Know thyself, right.
Yeah.
Then you can set up some barriers, make it harder to fall into those traps.
Barriers, like what? Give some examples.
Well, if online shopping's your weakness, delete your credit card info from those sites. Or if you overspend at restaurants, make a commitment to cook at home more often.
So, make it harder to just click and buy or grab that takeout.
Exactly. Out of sight, out of mind kind of thing.
Love it. What else helps with resisting all that tempting stuff?
This is cool, reframing how you think about spending.
Instead of thinking, ooh, I want that, it's more like, what do I gain by not buying it?
Yes, or think about the opportunity cost. Every dollar you spend, it's a dollar you could be using for something else.
Right, like that daily latte, it's also an investment that could be growing.
Precisely. Mindful choices, that's the goal.
Makes you think twice before you swipe that card. So we've got avoiding temptation, thinking long-term, anything else to help us actually stick with this stuff.
Rewards can't be all work and no play, right?
So it's not about depriving myself, it's about healthy rewards.
Totally. Find things that bring you joy but don't cost a ton.
Instead of those new shoes, maybe a hike at the park or a potluck dinner with friends.
There you go. Life's good, even without buying all the things.
I like that. Now, one thing we've talked a lot about is having a plan for investing, for debt, even for handling our emotions about money. But what about a plan for our whole financial life? How do we even start that?
Big question, but super important. Think of it like a roadmap, guiding you to those goals, helping you make smart choices along the way.
So what are the pieces of this financial plan puzzle?
First, gotta know where you're going, right? Define your goals.
So what do I want my money to do for me?
Exactly. House, early retirement, travel the world, starting a business. Those are the big ones. That vision keeps you motivated, helps you make choices that fit.
Okay, so I've got my dream life in mind. Then what?
Well, each plan's going to be different, depends on your situation. But usually there's a budget, a savings plan, investment stuff, how you'll handle debt, even estate planning.
Ooh, that's a lot to think about.
It can feel like a lot, yeah. Don't try to do it all at once. Pick one thing, like getting that budget dialed in, then go from there.
Baby steps free.
You got it. And you don't got to do it alone. Financial advisors, tons of online tools, even books like the one we're talking about, they can help.
So help is out there if you need it.
Yeah.
Good to know. Okay, investing. We keep coming back to this. It's a biggie. What are the, golden rules to remember?
We talked about diversification, right? Spreading the risk, that's always going to be key.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah. But remind me why that's so important for folks who are just tuning in.
So you're not putting all your faith in one single thing. Stocks, bonds, real estate, whatever it is. A mix means if one does bad, the others can pick up the slack.
Balance, so you can ride out the ups and downs. Makes sense. Anything else we got to remember?
Patience, gotta say it again.
Not surprised. You in this book, big on patience.
It's the name of the game, honestly. Wealth, it's a slow burn. You gotta be in it for the long haul. Ups and downs, those are gonna happen.
So deep breaths when the market does its crazy thing.
Exactly. Don't panic. Sell everything off because you saw a scary headline. Stick to the plan. Trust the process.
Ride those waves. Keep your eyes on the prize.
You got it. And remember, time is on your side. The longer you're in it, the more that money can grow.
Starting early, being consistent, that's the winning combo.
Bingo. Now, this is where things get interesting. Risk.
Ooh, that word always makes me nervous when we're talking money. How do we deal with risk without freaking out?
First, gotta understand, it's part of investing, always will be. No such thing as totally safe.
So we can't just avoid it altogether.
Nope, but you can manage it smart. And that starts with knowing your own risk tolerance.
How much am I okay with potentially losing, basically?
Pretty much. And that changes over time, right? When you're younger, saving for retirement way down the road, maybe you're more okay with some risk. Got time to recover if things go south.
So young folks can be a bit more daring.
In a way, yeah. But as you get closer to needing that money, gotta protect it more.
Risk changes as you change. Makes sense.
Right. Know what you're comfortable with, invest accordingly. Simple as that.
Okay, so risk is manageable once you know yourself.
Hmm.
But then there's our emotions. Those can really mess things up.
Oh, yeah. Emotions. Double-edged sword, for sure.
How so? Give me an example.
Fear, greed. Those make us do crazy things with our money. Panic selling when the market dips or jumping on the latest hot stock just because everyone else is. Not good.
Yeah, FOMO can be a real problem.
Big time. Those knee-jerk reactions, they wreck your long-term goals.
So how do we stay calm and rational when it comes to our money? Especially when, like, the whole world feels like it's losing its mind over the markets?
The book's got some ideas. One, that written investment plan we keep mentioning.
Right, the roadmap. But how does that help with the emotional roller coaster?
Because it's there when you're freaking out. Reminds you, this is my goal, this is how much risk I'm okay with, this is how my investment should be split up. Keeps you grounded.
So you don't make those fear-based choices.
Exactly. And review it every so often, make sure it still fits your life, your goals.
Don't just put it in a drawer and forget about it.
Right. Things change, gotta adjust. Another thing, big picture thinking, always.
Patience, again, shocking.
Can't say it enough. Investing, it's a marathon, remember? Focus on the years ahead, not what's happening this week or this month.
Tune out the noise. Stay focused on your own race.
You got it. And hey, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Like a financial advisor.
Yep. They can build you that plan, help you stick with it, especially when things get emotional. That outside perspective, sometimes it's all you need.
So it's not a sign of weakness. It's actually smart to get help if you need it.
Totally. Now this one, it's a biggie. Building wealth.
Yeah, that feels like, I don't know, something only certain people can do, right? Like you
No.
got to have some special advantage or something.
The book says anyone can do it. It's all about mindset and habits.
So it's not just like luck or being born rich.
Luck helps, sure, but it's not the deciding factor. The book's big on this, sir. The most important stuff, it's in your control.
Okay, so what can we control when it comes to building wealth? Spill the beans.
Number one, your mindset. What you believe about money that matters more than you think.
Wait, so if I think I'm bad with money or that only certain people can be wealthy, that actually makes it more likely to be true.
Kind of wild, right? Self-fulfilling prophecy, they call it. Gotta believe you can do it, make those smart choices, or it's not gonna happen.
So it starts in our heads, even before we open the bank app.
Yep. Thoughts become actions, Then there's your habits.
Like what I do every day with my money.
Exactly. Good or bad, they add up big time. Saving consistently, investing right, not overspending. That's how wealth is built, brick by brick.
Small actions, but done over and over, that's the magic formula.
Bingo. It's like compounding, but for your habits.
I love that. Not about being perfect right away. It's about those changes you can actually stick with.
That's the key. And, it's never too late. Even if you're starting today, you can build those good habits.
All right, that gives me hope.
Eh.
So, mindset, habits. What else do we need to master to be good with money, according to this book?
This one might seem basic, but it's powerful. Budgeting.
Budgeting, yeah. Kind of boring, right? Like, who gets excited about spreadsheets?
It doesn't have to be boring. Think of it as taking control, making sure your spending actually matches what you care about.
So it's not about punishing yourself. It's about, like, a plan that makes sense for you.
Yes, money working for the life you want. That's the goal.
Okay, I'm listening. How do we make a budget that actually works?
Uh-huh.
That we won't just abandon after a week?
Tons of ways. Find what fits you. But a few things are always important. First, gotta know where the money's going now. Track it, spreadsheet, app, notebook, whatever works.
No more mystery money drain at the end of the month.
Right. Once you see it, then you can decide, okay, where can I cut back?
Like, whoa, I spend that much on takeout. Time to cook more.
Exactly. Or those subscriptions you never use, cancel them. It's all about making choices.
Being mindful. Got it. So once I know where my money's going, then what?
Then you build the budget. Decide how much goes to each thing. Rent, bills, food, fun stuff, savings, paying off debt.
A plan for every dollar.
Right. But here's the thing. Gotta stay flexible.
Wait, so it's not like set in stone.
Life throws curveballs, Gotta be able to adjust.
So if something unexpected happens, I can just tweak the budget.
Exactly. And don't just do it once and think you're done. Gotta check in regularly.
Regular checkups for my money.
Yep. Make sure it still works, still matches your goals, and experiment, honestly, till you find a system that you like.
Okay, so budgeting, it's about being aware, flexible, and consistent.
You got it. Now, gotta address the elephant in the room. Getting rich quick.
Oh, yeah, that's tempting. Who wouldn't want that?
Totally. But the book's pretty clear, those schemes, they're usually trouble.
So no shortcuts to becoming a millionaire overnight.
Nope. Real wealth, it takes time, patience, doing the right things over and over.
Long game, not the lottery.
Exactly. Smart choices. Consistently let that compound interest work its magic.
No magic wands needed, just good habits.
That's the truth. Now, this is something that gets missed a lot, making sure your money choices match your values.
We keep coming back to that, but it seems super important. Like, money's not just about the numbers, it's about how it fits into your life.
100%. It's a tool, right? Can help you build a life you love that matters to you, or you can chase stuff that ultimately doesn't make you happy.
Spend with intention, like we were saying.
Yes. Money's powerful, can be used for good or bad. Supporting causes you believe in, investing in your education, leaving something behind for your family, those are the things that matter.
So it's about more than just buying stuff. It's about using money to make a difference.
Exactly. Financial success, it's great, but it's a means to an end, you know? Create a life that has meaning, helps others, something bigger than just yourself.
Okay, that's pretty inspiring. So how do we actually DO that? Make sure our money's aligned with our values.
First, got to know what those values are. Spend some time thinking about that.
So soul searching, but for my finances. What do I truly care about? What kind of world do I want to live in?
Those are the questions. Yes. Then you make choices that support those answers.
Like, if I care about the environment, maybe I invest in companies that are doing good things for the planet.
See? You're getting it. Or if education's your thing, donate to a scholarship, mentor someone.
Walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Right. Let your spending show what you believe in.
Okay, I want to circle back to something we've mentioned a few times. These money narratives, how they affect us.
They're powerful, those stories we tell ourselves. Money's no different.
So if I believe something about money, like it's bad or only certain people deserve to be rich, that actually affects how I handle my finances.
It does, even if you don't realize it. The book talks about how our own experiences, those create blind spots, make us do things that actually hurt us financially.
Like, if you grew up poor, always worrying about money, maybe as an adult you're always afraid to spend, even when you can afford it.
Or the opposite, grew up thinking money equals happiness, so you chase it your whole life, even if it costs you relationships, health.
Whoa. So those early money lessons, they stick with us.
They do. So gotta recognize them and then rewrite the script, make it work for you, not against you.
From scarcity to abundance, that's the shift, right?
Yes. Mindset change, it's everything.
So we got to change our thinking about money, not just our habits.
100%. That's where real, lasting change happens.
One thing that keeps coming up, and I'm glad it does, is this idea of thinking long term. Not just for investing, but for, like, our whole approach to money.
The book's big on that, shifting your focus from what feels good right now to what's going to make you truly happy down the road.
So thinking about the consequences of my choices, not just for today, but for years to come.
Exactly. Making choices that your future self will thank you for.
Yeah, it's easy to fall into that trap of I want it now.
It's human nature. But got to train that brain to think bigger, longer term. Those choices, they add up.
It's like short-term sacrifice, long-term reward.
Exactly. What you do today, it echoes in your future.
Okay, this one's kind of personal, but I gotta ask. Comparison. How do we stop comparing ourselves to everyone else, especially when it comes to money?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Social media doesn't help, right? Everyone's showing off their perfect life, their perfect finances.
Makes it feel like everyone else is winning and you're the only one struggling.
Totally. But the book has some good advice for this. One, focus on your progress, nobody else's.
So celebrate my own wins, even if they seem small.
Yes, acknowledge how far you've come, give yourself credit.
It's easy to focus on what's missing, not what you've already accomplished.
True. And gratitude, that helps a lot too.
Being thankful for what I do have, even if it's not as much as someone else.
Exactly. More you focus on the good, the less you'll feel that need to compare.
Shifting from I don't have enough to I'm grateful for what I have.
Exactly. And remember, everyone's journey is different. No right or wrong way to do this money thing.
So my chapter 1 might look totally different from someone else's chapter 20, and that's okay.
More than okay. It's how it should be. Run your own race. Celebrate your own wins.
Love that. Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground here. As we wrap up part 2 of our deep dive into the psychology of money, any final thoughts for our listeners? What are the big takeaways, the things we should all be thinking about?
It's a lot to take in, for sure. But if you remember nothing else, self-awareness, that's the foundation. Then compound interest, that's your friend. Don't fall for those get-rich-quick schemes. They're usually too good to be true. And most importantly, make sure your money choices match your values, what you actually care about.
It's not just about the money itself. It's about building a life that feels good, right?
Right. And think long term. Always. Those are the choices that pay off in the end.
This has been amazing. Thank you for breaking it all down for us. This book, it's deep, but you've made it so much easier to understand.
Happy to do it. This is stuff everyone should be talking about. Keep learning, keep growing. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. To all our deep divers out there, we hope you're enjoying this as much as we are. We'll be back for part 3, where we'll dive even deeper into these concepts and explore some practical strategies for applying them to our own lives. Stay tuned.
So much good stuff in this book, honestly. I feel like we could talk about it for days.
Right. It's one of those books you could read multiple times and still get something new out of it each time.
Exactly. But okay, let's focus. We were talking about those money narratives and how to rewrite them.
Yeah, how do we actually change those stories we've been telling ourselves about money, maybe for our whole lives? It seems hard.
It's a process for sure.
Yeah.
First, got to catch those thoughts, those beliefs as they come up. Notice them.
So pay attention to what's happening in my head when I'm making money decisions or even just thinking about money.
Yep. And then ask yourself, is this really true? Or is this just like a leftover story from my past?
Like if I'm about to buy something and I think, I can't afford this, maybe I actually can, but that's just what I learned to say growing up.
Bingo. Once you see those old stories, then you can start changing them.
Create new beliefs that actually help me, not hold me back.
You got it. Shifting that mindset, it's powerful. From scarcity to abundance, from fear to feeling in control.
So changing our relationship with money from the inside out.
That's what it's all about. And the cool thing is once you do that, the outside stuff, the actual money choices, those get easier.
Okay, that makes sense. So rewiring our brains, basically. What else has really stuck with you from this book?
You know, this whole long-term thinking thing, we keep mentioning it, but it's worth emphasizing. It's not just for investing, it's how you approach your whole financial life.
Decisions today affect tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that.
Yep. The book's saying, shift your focus from what feels good right now to what's going to make you happy, secure, fulfilled way down the line.
Makes sense, but also sounds hard. Like instant gratification is so tempting.
Oh, I know. But it's worth it, trust me. Those future rewards, they're way better than anything you can get right now.
So it's about thinking about my future self, making choices that'll benefit her, even if it means saying no to some fun stuff today.
You're getting it. It's like a gift to your future self every time you make that tough choice, the long-term choice.
I love that. Okay, this is something I struggle with, and I bet a lot of our listeners do too. Comparison. How do we stop measuring ourselves against everyone else, especially when it comes to money?
Ooh, comparison is the worst.
Yeah.
And social media, it's like fuel for that fire.
Everyone's showing off their fancy vacations, their new cars, their perfect homes. Makes you feel like you're not doing enough.
It's a trap. Don't fall for it. The book reminds us, focus on your journey, nobody else's.
Celebrate my wins, even if they seem small compared to what other people are doing.
Yes. Acknowledge how far you've come. Give yourself credit for the effort you're putting in.
It's so easy to get caught up in what I don't have instead of appreciating what I do have.
That's why gratitude's so important. Take time every day to be thankful for the good stuff, even the little things. The more you do that, the less you'll feel the need to compare.
From I want more to I'm grateful for what I have. Love that.
Right. It's a game changer, mindset-wise. And remember, there's no right or wrong way to do this money thing. What works for your friend, your neighbor, that Instagram influencer you follow, might be totally wrong for you.
Different paths for different people, different timelines, different goals.
Exactly. Run your own race, focus on your lane, you'll get there.
I needed to hear that today. Thank you. All right, as we wrap up this deep dive into the psychology of money, I'm feeling so inspired, but also like, where do I even begin?
It's a lot. We've covered so much ground, but honestly, the most important thing is to just start. Take one small step today, one little action that moves you closer to your financial goal.
Baby steps, right?
Exactly. Maybe it's setting up that budget we talked about. Maybe it's reading one chapter of the book. Maybe it's finally having that money conversation with your partner that you've been putting off. Whatever it is, just take action.
Action over inaction. That's the motto.
Love it. And remember, you don't have to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes along the way. We all do.
Give ourselves some grace, learn from those mistakes, and keep moving forward.
Exactly. This is a journey, not a destination. Enjoy the ride, celebrate the wins, learn from the losses, and keep learning and growing.
That's a great note to end on. To our listeners, we hope you found this deep dive into the psychology of money helpful and inspiring. Remember, financial well-being is within your reach, It starts with understanding yourself, your relationship with money, and then making conscious choices that align with your values and your vision for the future.
We've only scratched the surface, honestly. There's so much more to explore. So keep reading, keep learning, keep those conversations going, and most importantly, keep diving deep.